welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin Weather Experts. On this Thursday, the weather's been beautiful here in Milwaukee and across the state. We've got another sunny day. Temperature's a little cooler, but we're getting there.
Look, the sunshine. I'm so excited about the sunshine, I'll tell you that, because we've had so many gray days.
Oh, yes.
Like, I'm just happy that we have sunshine for a consistency of more than just 1 or 2 days. It's been really almost about a week now.
Yeah, and we've got even more on the way this weekend for Mother's Day as well as next week. So a lot of really good weather to look forward to. Speaking of not good weather, though, tornadoes were very prevalent the last couple of months down south.
Yes, they were, especially in Tennessee. So people in Tennessee are pretty much cleaning up over a month's worth after an EF3 tornado that hit the southwestern part of the state. Fox's Asher Red reports from Selmer, where the tornado ripped through some multi-story buildings. So the cleanup of those foundations are right here.
Standing on what used to be a house. In fact, that house now sits in a pile of debris on the road behind me. This tornado caused so much damage that crews haven't even started picking up what's left of these buildings. They've been more focused on picking up debris, like all of the trees that were downed during the storm. This town was ground zero when a tornado tore through last month. It had 160-mile-an-hour winds, strong enough to tear apart well-built homes and businesses. One of them was the Jesus Cares thrift store, a big nonprofit here.
This was the main location that families, everybody came to when they needed something.
The owner was able to salvage about 30% of the merchandise, but the building itself is a total loss. The mayor estimates the tornado caused about $30 million in damages.
It's devastating. It's something that you just try to always prepare for, but you can't.
The tornado killed 5 people in Selmer. One of them was Jamarcus McGowan. He died 2 days before his daughter Jalea's 16th birthday.
2 days before her 16th birthday, she was identifying her dad's body. On her 16th birthday, we were burying her dad.
The dad lived in a trailer park in the direct path of the tornado.
It was literally nothing there. All that was left there was the car.
Jalea's family wants to fix up her father's car. It's the only thing of his that survived the storm.
He loved this car. This car was everything to him. She wants to have her dad's car to drive.
They think it'll take about $10,000 to get the car up and running again. As for the rest of the town, the mayor says there's no timeline to pick up the debris, but she says it could take up to a year. In Selmer, Tennessee, Asher Red, Fox News.
It's just so heartbreaking to see between tornadoes and hail and flooding just how long it takes to clean up after stuff like that.
I know, and even storms that's happened way before this are still cleaning up, even from hurricane season of last year.
Right.
And we're about less than a month away from the new season starting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just really high impact events to say the very least. Well, thankfully, as we opened the show and talked about, we have quiet weather continuing from here. Let's dive into a regional look of weather. Here's your regional view, or really nationwide view, we'll say. Quiet across our area, most of the Great Lakes region, northern plains out west enjoying sunshine. You can see there are a few areas of some showers and some thunderstorms. One immediately south of us. You can see the east coast down to the southeast and on into parts of Texas. A few other spots dealing with some showers and some thunderstorms. Now, these are slow-moving systems, though. This is a stationary front just south of us, closer to St. Louis, extending to almost New York City, with a cold front then draped across portions of Texas. There is a severe weather threat today south of us. Of course, we are staying quiet here across the state of Wisconsin, but within this vicinity, there are a handful of communities, number one, under marginal, as well as slight risks for high wind, but also there is a flooding risk associated with some of these slow-moving storm systems. Now, that stationary front, it has its name for a reason. It means it's nearly stationary, and that rain is impacting the same areas over and over again. So this is just a look at heavy rainfall outlook. Most spots under that marginal, so kind of a minor threat for some heavy rainfall or some flash flooding, but it is still there for areas down towards the south. And you can see this is a good chunk of the east coast here, all the way down into portions of Florida, and then the Gulf Coast on into portions of Texas. Lines up really closely with the severe thunderstorm risk as well. You can see a good chunk of areas southeast of us under that marginal and slight risk, once again extending towards the Gulf Coast and on into parts of Texas. So the southern part of the U.S. or southeastern part of the U.S. over to the East Coast, going to be the active spots for today as well as tomorrow. But everybody else, north and west, going to enjoy quiet weather and some sunshine. Here's one batch of rainfall. You can see down in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, over into Ohio. Kentucky still dealing with some rain. This is looped over the last hour, and you can tell it's really not moving much. Even if I were to loop it over the last 6 hours, it's nearly stationary, right around that stationary front. So flooding will certainly be a risk in those areas. A couple of storms out over the Gulf you can see, and then over into portions of Texas. That's another slow-moving area of thunderstorm activity. But for now, all of that stays well south of us. Zooming in, I should say, on our great state of Wisconsin, not a cloud in sight. The weather has been nearly perfect over the last couple of days, and that's going to continue even into the weekend. This is interesting, though. Maybe for those who are getting ready to get outside, do some planting. The weather's been great lately, right? Maybe not so fast. Or for those who already have some plants outside, maybe some flower pots or hanging baskets. Tonight, even here in Wisconsin, going to be a night to really watch temperatures. Notice just east of us, the entire state of Michigan under some type of frost or freeze headline. Frost advisories down towards the south, but the northern half of the state under freeze warnings. Now, we don't have that here locally, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. We could actually have some frost headlines for tonight away from Lake Michigan because there is the potential we see some communities dropping to low and mid 30s. And even though temperatures may stay just above freezing, with a calm wind and a clear sky, we could still see frost. So something to keep in mind if you are away from Lake Michigan. Here's a look at Milwaukee's low temperature trend going into the night tonight. Even Milwaukee could potentially dip to maybe mid 30s. So cooler temperatures in the forecast for tonight. But past that, we're going to warm really nicely. And even this afternoon, not bad. Today's high temperatures, especially out west, 60s to low 70s. Just a little cooler up and down that lakeshore. Most spots looking at low 50s. Looking at the national view of temperatures, though, still a lot of warmth towards the southeast, where they're going to see a lot of that moisture and a lot of that rainfall, heavy rainfall that is, highs in the 80s. And then look at just out towards the west, the Dakotas, the upper plains, they have had a stretch of sunshine and 70s and 80s. That warmth will once again continue to move our way. We may even see an 80-degree day in some of our inland areas by early next week. But until then, still very comfortable. Today's actually going to be one of our cooler days, and these are inland temperatures. Each day we will be at least a little bit cooler near Lake Michigan, but heading into Mother's Day weekend, 70s for inland areas, but I do think on Sunday itself, even lakeshore communities will see some low 70s, even warmer on Monday, and we're going to follow suit Tuesday, only dropping a little bit more. I think this is really the forecast, the weather that everybody has been waiting for, and even looking out a couple more weeks, potentially through the third week of May, that above average warmth may stick around. At least early indications from the Climate Prediction Center. So once again, something to look forward to, and just great days ahead, especially this weekend, to get outside, enjoy the sunshine, and enjoy the warmth. And don't forget to celebrate moms. Again, Mother's Day, that's on Sunday. Buy those gifts if you haven't done so already. That's a look at your regional weather. Let's take a live look outside right now where the sun continues to shine. We are going to enjoy this day, aren't we? We'll have plenty more to talk about coming up. Stay with us. welcome back, everybody, on this gorgeous Thursday. Thanks for tuning into Fox Local as well as our Fox 6 YouTube page. Well, all week long, we've been talking about air quality. It's Air Quality Awareness Week, so we are going to continue to chat about this really important and beneficial topic. I mean, it impacts us all, right? It's our air and how we live. Meteorologist Tom Walks has a great story on some of the equipment that could be helpful for us. Check it out.
Well, we have multiple ways to measure air quality, and I want to bring you to my backyard. In fact, take a look above my head here. This is a weather station that measures everything from temperature to dew point, wind, and rainfall. But when we're talking about air quality in particular, well, we have a couple of different devices here. This one is a PM 2.5 sensor. So it's particulate matter that it's measuring, and it's the very small particulates or areas of pollution that are too small to see with the human eye, but not too small to breathe in. So it can certainly impact folks with asthma, COPD, or other respiratory illnesses. So that's one of the things that we monitor with this device. Then I can monitor this via an app. Now, this device, this is a portable air quality monitor. This also measures the various sizes of particulate matter in the air, and also this measures what's called VOCs, which is a contributing factor to ground level ozone. So that's something we can do as well. In fact, remember the Canadian wildfires, the wildfire smoke that we've had in our air before? This is really a great sensor to be able to pick up on the poor air quality when things like that happen. So that's available online as well, these portable air quality sensors. So these are many different ways that we're able to measure air quality throughout the area.
And we're always talking about air quality. You know, late in the day, especially during our summer months, we get those air quality alerts for ground level ozone, and it's not healthy for sensitive groups to be outside. So having a device like that for yourself could actually be very beneficial if you are within some of those sensitive groups that it's just hard to get outside on days like that. Well, outside air obviously holds pollution, but did you know indoors you could have pollution as well? Meteorologist Holly Baker has a couple of ways on how to improve the air quality inside your home.
Well, guys, it is Air Quality Awareness Week, but we talk and hear all about air quality, especially whenever we have wildfire smoke in our area or even dust outdoors. That definitely can lower the air quality and make it hard for breathing for some of those sensible groups. So with that being said, you hear about all this air quality and how bad it could be outdoors, but what about indoors? Your indoors need to be taken care of as well. Or here is one way, an easy way at that, that you can improve your indoor air quality. The materials you'll need is very simple. Some tape, duct tape preferably, a fan, and an air filter. And once you have those three items, you will need to at least now get your air filter and your fan, and you're going to put those two together. You're going to use your tape, and that's going to tape those so that they'll stay. And once that happens, you're going to make sure that the fan is blowing out through the air filter all of your clean air. This is just a do-it-yourself project. It's very easy, and it's also very inexpensive for you. So once that air pretty much is flowing, you're getting the best air for your home. Now, this is the most important thing. Once your filter fills up, just like a regular air conditioner, you have to make sure you're changing the filter, especially if you're in one of those situations where you do have the wildfire smoke in your area or even the dust. Those filters will fill up pretty fast. But this is one way to help you improve your indoor air quality, at least in the most budget-friendly way. Happy Air Quality Week.
Really good information there to keep the inside of your home purified, especially if you can't spend those big bucks on some of those purifiers themselves. All right, so this is a cool topic, kind of switching gears a little bit. Meteorologist Rob Haswell had a really cool discussion. If you have kids like I do, you know spring sports season, especially in Wisconsin, a little hard to get through, right? When it comes to some of those wacky temperatures, maybe you're playing by the lake and you're freezing cold. I say that because that was me a couple weeks ago. This is what inspired the creator of what is called Ponchero. Really cool device you're going to want to learn about. Meteorologist Rob Haswell had the opportunity to speak with the inventor.
Well, it is becoming that time of year where we want to get outside. The kids might have soccer or lacrosse, or maybe you just want to get out and, spend some time in the great outdoors. But the weather doesn't always cooperate. And that is where Melissa Duval comes in. Thank you for joining us here on Wisconsin Weather Experts. You have invented something that might help us all stay dry out there.
Well, Rob, I'd like to think so. It's called Ponchero,
Okay.
and it is a blanket that you wear like a poncho, so you don't have to hold it up, and it stores on the back of your outdoor chair. So when you need it, it's there, but when you don't need it, it's out of the way. And I came up with the idea sitting at a ball game of my son's. It was one of those games where it was lovely outside when the game started, but they went into extra innings. My son went into pitch, who never pitched, so I wasn't about to miss a second of it. And the sun had set and it had started to drizzle. And I turned to my friend and said, my blanket's back at the car. I wish they just made a chair that had a blanket that stored on the back of it so it was there when I needed it. And that just started the idea. And we started the patent process. And here we are now selling online.
That's amazing. What, like from the tiny genesis? And there's a problem we have had ever since, soccer moms and stuff have been going out, or baseball moms and dads have been going out to these things. But you came up with a really good idea. And so I guess the difference here between just having a poncho and your product is that it's basically, it incorporates your actual chair.
Yeah, well, and it's an accessory to your existing chair. So you can use it on your stadium chair, folding chair.
So it can go on any kind of chair.
Any kind of chair that's anywhere from 17 to about 26 inches wide.
Okay.
We have different versions of how wide a chair it will fit, but you can just use it on its own as well. Here it is. So this is Ponchero.
So it's kind of its own chair when you don't need the poncho part.
Yeah, you can just sit on it. You can use it. And again, it's not a poncho. Don't want folks to think that there are weatherproof ponchos out there. So you've got that. Mine is a blanket, but I didn't like holding blankets up. So I was like, what if it could slip over my head?
Perfect.
And that would give me hands-free. And it's made out of a really, really great material called Dentex. So it feels like a blanket. It's soft on the underside, but it's waterproof, windproof. So you can use it in the summertime. You won't get sticky under it, if it's just chilly out. Or if it's the wintertime and you have a coat on, you put this over it. It's the perfect wind block.
Thank you so much. I'm glad the weather inspired you to create this product. I appreciate you coming on the show.
All right, and we have the product right here. Thank you for sending this our way so we could check it out too. So it's sitting right on one of our, just one of our work chairs. We lift it up, and this is kind of, the full thing right here. This top part apparently attaches to your, your regular, camping foldable chair. And then this is the little hood. Zip it open. And then there's these little pockets, so the zipper is inside because, theoretically this is on top of you, so you can still open up your pocket if you need to take a sip of your coffee or your beverage. I like that it's waterproof. It looks really comfy.
And warm.
And very warm.
Like the inside with the blanket that she mentioned. Yeah. So if you're not getting wet outdoors, like sitting in rain, at least you'll be warm too because of this inside part.
Yeah. It's always cool to see what people come up with.
Yes.
Why didn't I think of that?
Right.
Oh, man. Well, we love this product and wish you success, to say the very least. So cool stuff. Check it out. It's called Ponchero. Thank you, Rob, for that awesome interview and all that information. Well, we have just a little bit more to talk about after this quick break. You are watching Wisconsin Weather Experts, live view of Milwaukee, loving the sunshine. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, this is an exciting day for the weather experts here at Fox 6. We have a new sponsor for our weather deck, and that is Stein's. And they are out right now. They are decorating. I love it to see some greenery. You can see some flowers, pretty pillows on our couch and our chairs. Just really beautifying and amplifying our Fox 6 weather deck, Holly.
I know. It's giving spring, especially with the sunshine today. It's like making it look so relaxing and warm outdoors. Still a little chilly, but overall, I am so excited that they're going to be adding more stuff and just making it look so pretty.
Yeah, we're so thankful to have them coming in and jazzing everything up. So again, Stein's Garden and Homes in the Milwaukee area. Beautiful addition to our weather deck. Well, we have covered a lot, not only today, but this week, including Air Quality Awareness Week. Probably some new stuff that you maybe haven't heard of. If you have a weather question, it could be air quality, it could be gardening, it could be anything. Scan that QR code, fill out the form. We'd love to answer your question. If we don't have the answers, say it's something gardening. You know, we have other experts we can reach out to as well to help you out. So feel free to send in any questions, pictures you may have, and we would love to dedicate some time to answer those questions here on Fox 6 Weather, or Wisconsin Weather Experts, excuse me. Okay, Rob mentioned that he put this next story in just for me, and I understand. I understand. We are talking about a little miniature dachshund here, which is what I have at home. No longer little though. She's oh, I'm already staring at the screen. So cute. Okay, anyways, moving on. A miniature dachshund is safe and sound after going missing in the Australian wilderness for more than a year. Can you believe that? So the little dachshund named Valerie disappeared back in November of 2023 when her owners took her on a camping trip to Kangaroo Island in South Australia. She survived on the rugged island for 529 days. It took more than 1,000 hours and rescue crews scouring more than 3,000 miles to finally find the pup. Rescuers used her owner's t-shirt and dog food to lure her. Now Valerie was finally caught using a remote-controlled trap.
She's doing really, really well, but we're seeing things that she'll need to get through. But considering what it could have been, I think we're all pretty surprised at how well it's gone.
We want to return her to her beautiful owners the best way possible and not cause her any more trauma or stress, because undoubtedly out there in the 16 months or whatever, she would have gone through a lot. Harsh winters, which we didn't want to happen again. Summers, not being able to find water.
Oh man, I could not even imagine any dog or any domesticated animal going over a year without their family. That's just so heartbreaking. The good news though is that Valerie is expected to be returned to her owners after being on that island for still another week or so. That's in order to give her time to adjust to domestic life again. Yeah, going from laying on a couch under a blanket to the wild for over a year to back to probably being housebroken again and interacting with people again. There's probably a lot of retraining that needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just curious, like, what did this dog eat? Because I know the dog did not eat dog food. So it probably had to get some of its hunting skills to kind of get themselves something to eat. I think overall, though, it will make a smooth transition to getting back. It's not like they've never been home before, but it'll be a transition, hopefully less than a month.
Yes, I hope so as well. Well, great news there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wisconsin Weather Experts. We will see you again tomorrow at noon to kick off your Friday. Have a good one.